From Oxford, Mississippi, welcome to SEC Saturday Night. Matt Luke's Rebels taking the field here at home against Arkansas. And so the party from the Grove has moved into the stadium. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. What is wrong with you two?
You got to see the hot route. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't care how young you are. The guy blitzes. You got to be ready for the ball. That was not on me.
You need better receivers. These two programs need a win. It seems odd here in week 2, a game between two teams that are unranked, to say this is a must-win game. But for these programs aiming for the postseason, that 6th win, it feels like they got to get a win today to get there.
You really have to, for 2 reasons. In developing young and inexperienced talent, confidence is everything. If you don't start the season with it, it's really tough to get it back in this league. And bowl games, for recruiting, when you're not winning SEC championships or competing for them, you got to recruit, and that bowl game goes so far. It feels like if one of these teams doesn't get it tonight, a win, they might not get there.
Margin of error is really slim for both of these teams, and there was a lot of error from the quarterback position, no matter who you were, last week. Yeah, Arkansas started with a win, but it was unimpressive. Ole Miss went on the road to Memphis and lost. Can we see better quarterback play tonight?
I think we can. On the Arkansas side, they got to figure out who it's going to be. Ben Hicks can run that offense efficiently, but it's not dynamic, and Nick Starkel may be the more talented. We don't know if he can run the offense the way that Arkansas and Chad Morris wants it. And if you're Ole Miss and Matt Corral, you were 1 for 10 on 3rd down against Memphis. You got to find ways to get this quarterback easy throws on 1st and 2nd down so they can get the tempo going, because that's how they're successful on offense.
I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but last week against Portland State, Arkansas started a brand new starting 11 all the way across the board. Now, Rakeem Boyd is a guy who has had some success, 4 100-yard games, and it seemed like the ground game was something they could lean on last week.
Yeah, the former last chance U-Star really is going to have his chance this year to make a huge impact and show that he's one of the best running backs in this entire conference. He's got size, he's got speed, and if you get in front of this running back, he's going to run you over and make you pay for it. I think he's the best player on the entire football field. So as Arkansas figures out this quarterback situation, I bet they're going to lean heavily on Rakeem Boyd tonight.
So see if Ole Miss can slow him down. Ole Miss brought 2 new coordinators in the offseason, including Mike McIntyre on the defensive side. Let's go down to the field. Cole Kublik. Defense looks a lot better now.
Tom, I thought it looked a little bit better last week, and it's a better fit. You have a guy like Kadir Shepard that was buried down inside, taking on double teams between tackles and tight end a year ago. He'll be able to stand up and roam, be a little bit more free. Benito Jones down inside will be able to create space, shoot some gaps a little bit more than he did last season. Overall, I feel like it's a better fit, and I thought they performed better a week ago. They're going to be another performance that they're going to need to be strong with tonight against Rakeem Boyd and the Hogs.
All right, Cole, thank you. Great job clearing out all the cookies in the tent, too. Arkansas won the toss. They have elected to defer. Chad Morris's team, a very lethargic victory against Portland State last week at home. This is a team that won just 2 games last year, didn't win a single conference game. He led the rebuild at SMU. Can he do the same in Fayetteville? Time will tell. Jarian Ely, the multi-talented star, set to receive for Ole Miss. He won't have a chance. And the Rebels will bring out Matt Corral in this Ole Miss offense. Corral played in 4 games last year, protected his red shirt, a freshman All-America in the preseason from Football Writers Association of America. Had some great coaches, NFL stars, that really taught him how to prepare for the next level. And was committed to both USC and Florida before eventually signing with Ole Miss. He's running a Rich Rodriguez offense. Longtime head coach is the other coordinator that Matt Luke brought on board in the offseason. Scotty Phillips is the running back next to Corral, and he'll get a touch on his own read to start things off, and a positive play for Ole Miss. Bumper Pool with the stop for Arkansas. Get used to that name.
Keep an eye on the tempo here. Positive plays, especially on 1st and 2nd down, lead to the tempo for Ole Miss, and this offense is predicated on it.
They didn't have a whole lot of success on 1st down last week. Corral pulls it back, and now he's flushed. And on the run, just a tick behind his wide receiver, Elijah Moore. Communication issues crept up for both of these teams last week. Is that something you expect week one?
You expect it a little bit, but that's one thing we talked to Matt Corral and Rich Rodriguez about. A lot of times the offensive linemen weren't getting all the calls or hearing the correct call. And if you can't get things going pre-snap, you have no chance post-snap, and that's what we saw last week against Memphis.
Young wide receivers for both sides. Here's Arkansas bringing pressure, and on the slant, it's a drop. Dontario Drummond got his hands on it, but couldn't bring it in. Pair of pass plays, neither one productive, and Ole Miss will go 3 and out on this, just as they did regularly last week against Memphis. They went 3 and out on their first 3 possessions. They only picked up 9 yards on their first 11 plays.
And this is a tough catch. Low and right down the center line. Now, trust me, I know it looks like he should have caught it, and he should have, but on a slant route, breaking in, that's a tough one for a receiver to slow down, square up, and get that while running full speed.
Here's Traylon Burks. Burks is trying to find a seam, and he'll take it out near the 30-yard line for the first touch for Arkansas. 50-yard punt, 12 on the return. You've heard plenty of grad transfers at quarterback being influential and impactful players in college football this year, where Chad Morris has a pair of them. He's got both Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel that he can play at quarterback. Hicks was a record-setting quarterback at SMU. His mom was a tennis player. She was ultra competitive. He said, I get my drive from her. And he was highly regarded coming out of high school. Waco Midway High School, where he grew up as a Baylor Bears fan. Ended up setting passing records at SMU under Chad Morris in 2017. And bad news for Ole Miss. Momo Sunogo, their starting linebacker, is being tended to. They're looking at his right ankle off of that punt coverage. Sunogo is the key part of this Ole Miss defense. We had a chance to spend time with him yesterday. What a fantastic kid. He's got a double major in banking and finance, and he's also on the Butkus Award watch list.
This would be a big loss for Ole Miss. He's really the leader on that defense. He's got a high football IQ, and against a team that loves the RPOs, the run-pass options that put linebackers in binds, having a veteran and a really good player like Sunogo out there would have been huge for this defense in this game. So
he led Ole Miss in tackles last year. More than 9 a game, 3rd best in the SEC. And they're going to take him off the field, and we will take a timeout here early at Ole Miss. Not a good sign for Ole Miss. Momo Sunogo, the junior from Plano, Texas, taken off the field on a cart. Number 46, left side of your screen. They were looking at his ankle, it looked like. Tough to say where the injury could have impacted him the most. He will be replaced by Dante Evans at his inside linebacker spot. Ben Hicks, the SMU grad transfer at quarterback for Arkansas, in play action on the first play. Hicks on the run and fires incomplete. Josiah Coatney chased him towards the sideline.
this is something that we saw last week. A ton of pressure on Ben Hicks. 37% of his dropbacks, he was moving under duress. But also that affected him when he had a clean pocket. He escaped a little too early sometimes. So keep an eye on what he does with a clean pocket this week.
And now 2nd and 10, and they try to run it straight ahead. No luck with Rakeem Boyd, who's only able to find 3. Boyd coming off of a 114-yard touchdown performance last week against Portland State. Coatney being impactful on back-to-back plays for the Rebels.
Linebacker blitz up the middle there. Tough to handle that sometimes in gap scheme because those pullers are coming around and don't get their eyes upfield fast enough.
Traylon Burks, Trey Knox, and Mike Woods, 2 freshmen and a sophomore, part of this young wide receiving core on the field for Arkansas. The tight end is Cheyenne O'Grady, seeing action for the first time this season. Pressure coming again. Hicks gets hit from behind and lets go a strike that is knocked away at the last moment, and Trey Knox goes to the turf. Jalen Julius was able to separate man from ball, and Arkansas will have to punt it away.
Well, it And Ole Miss brought pressure. They go man coverage, single high. Hicks has pressure off the edge, but that is actually a great ball to the true freshman Trey Knox on the outside. A really tough catch, but you can see the pressure here on the left side by Dante Evans just replacing Momo Sanogo. And that ball is exactly where it needs to be, but not easy to come down with it, taking a hit like that.
And to clarify, it was Armani Linton from his free safety spot who came in to knock the ball loose. Sam Loy will handle the punting duties to start this week. Elijah Moore asks for a fair catch, and after a bobble is able to gather it. 51-yard punt from the Vandy transfer Loy. You can help people affected by Hurricane Dorian. Your donation will support Red Cross preparation, response, and recovery efforts in the United States and the Bahamas. Go to www.redcross.org/ESPN or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to donate now. Home opener for the Rebels here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Matt Corral on first down wants to rip it loose. He does, and it's a first down to Elijah Moore.
And Tom, a true freshman left tackle, Nick Brecker, checks into the game. Good in protection here on the left side. And a really good clean pocket and accurate ball by Matt Corral. Just what they needed to get things going.
Once again, can Ole Miss capitalize and find rhythm with a first down? And it doesn't look like it because Scotty Phillips gets tossed for a loss of 2. Melvin Agim, who's now playing on the inside, is able to make the stop. So Ole Miss off schedule again. This is now 2nd and 12. Rich Rodriguez offenses pride themselves in being able to move fast, keeping things simple. It actually applies to both offenses we'll see tonight. And once again, it's Scotty Phillips. And he's able to find 5.
Tom, you mentioned getting on schedule, staying on schedule. In my opinion, this is the part that's got to go. If you're going to stay on schedule, you have to have some sort of a run game consistently that you can lean on.
Well, that wasn't the case. And maybe the issue is able to convert this one, and breaking free is Ontario Drummond. Drummond with the extra effort, and a junior from Laurel, Mississippi, is able to turn that into a 26-yard catch and run.
This is one thing Corral does really well, throw on the run, and now you can feel the energy, you can feel the momentum, and here comes the tempo.
Phillips, left side, able to find nothing. Agim is there again.
Just a really easy concept smash, a hitch on the outside, a corner on the inside, and it was a tight window, but Corral put it exactly where he needed to, and Drummond did the rest.
This is an Ole Miss offense which was 5th in the country in passing last year with Jordan Ta'amu and 3 wide receivers now in the NFL. Corral pulls it back on the run, complete. It's Drummond again. Why is Matt Corral so good throwing on the run versus standing still?
You know, I asked him, did you play a lot of sports growing up? Because oftentimes when you see a guy that can change his arm angle, usually a baseball player, and he's just a natural thrower of the football and has that knack to throw better off balance than he really does on balance.
He said, my dad was all over me. There's no sitting still growing up. I was always playing something, whether it was soccer, baseball, football. Jarian Ely, a much anticipated freshman, gets a carry on the left side. He's a 2-sport star, was drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks in June's Major League Baseball draft. Some major league teams had him projected as a 1st rounder, but he told them all he was going to school. Plan is to play football and baseball for Ole Miss head coach Mike Bianco. Ely sharing the backfield with Snoop Connor now. And so Connor gets a carry. We've seen 3 different running backs in the first 2 drives for Ole Miss.
That's part of that tempo. Rich Rodriguez wants to go fast. He wants to keep his running backs fresh, especially. That's how this offense goes, to the ground.
Connor and Ely back there. It's Connor again. Ran into his own man and bounces forward for the first down off of Alex Gibbons' backside.
Ole Miss bringing in 2 tight ends now. And this is really where they need to find a guy. They got 2 tight ends in the game here, so they're a run-heavy set. But they got to find a guy that can win on the outside and man coverage in the red zone.
Corral pulls it back from Ely. Little ball fake and a hurdle. And he picks up a first down just outside the goal line on an 11-yard run. And they are going quick again, right on top of the ball. Tripped up in the backfield. Ely gets stopped. And this will be the 12th play of this drive for Ole Miss. They found their rhythm, huh?
Boy, what a way to bounce back from going 1 for 10 on 3rd down last week in an offense that just couldn't get going. The ground game has really opened things up.
Ely gets hit in the backfield, has to struggle to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And here, when you're a team that goes tempo and you struggle sometimes down the low red zone, just leaning on guys and going man-to-man and getting pushed, here's where the quarterback run comes into play. And here's where getting Matt Corral outside the pocket and on the move is what I do.
He's got Scotty Phillips, the veteran, in the backfield with him. Little sprint out run, and it is caught for an Ole Miss touchdown. Elijah Moore. How's that for a confidence-boosting drive?
Just a simple sprint out. You got Elijah Moore man-to-man. You clear out the outside receiver, give him some space. And he's really emerging as their big-time go-to wide receiver. Kind of like the NWO guys we've had in the past.
He'll get a belt. They still have that championship belt hanging in the wide receivers room. Luke Logan punches through the point after. Let's take it down to the goal line. Pylon cam will show you clean catch and an early lead for Ole Miss. This series has been nip and tuck over the last 4 seasons, and with 2 programs with a slim margin of error, you can see how one play could change the direction. After the touchdown, the Ole Miss kickoff. And good special teams coverage on Devion Warren and some extra pushing and shoving on the sideline. Hello. Take it back to the score for the Rebels. Matt Corral out of the pocket.
Elijah Moore is the guy they want to get the ball to, and they're going to get a friendly little rub route. You don't call that a pick, but it's a little bit of a rub, and it allows Elijah Moore to work with space on the outside. He just needs a little bit of hesitation, and I bet we continue to see a lot more of Matt Corral outside the pocket on the run. He's so accurate and so good, and they need to continue to feed Elijah Moore.
They split out Ben Hicks. It'll be Rakeem Boyd in the Wild Hog. And he's running behind Devion Warren to the right side. John Haynes was able to dial in on it. Only a gain of 3 on 1st down.
That took a little while to get going there. Rakeem Boyd looked like he was about 7, almost 8 yards deep there. That Wildcat's got to be a little closer to that jet sweep so it hits quickly. Can't have that take too long.
Ben Hicks directs Cheyenne O'Grady. Going to go right back to Boyd. Boyd able to slither through the first would-be tackler. And they got submarine at the end after a gain of 10.
You guys mentioned how to get the run game going. Offensive coordinator Joe Craddock told me before the game that Wildcat was something that they want to implement and want to try to get a little bit of different look going. But keep an eye on the...
Here's a quick snap again. Trying to find a wide receiver screen. Mike Woods barreled up and dropped back to Cole.
Keep an eye on the running back's alignment next to or maybe a little bit back behind the quarterback. If that running back gets out wide over his offensive tackle, more times than not, it's going to be a pass play. If you see the running back at depth, maybe with his toes behind the heels of the running back when he's aligned, more times than not going to be a run play, something that Mike McIntyre and his staff have paid a lot of attention to this week.
Boyd, as of now, about a half set behind Hicks.
That's pass alignment.
Hicks going to him on the wheel route, and that's complete. Lakia Henry had the coverage. Cole, let me ask you this. If we can see it, as Jordan takes another look.
Look at this alignment. He is almost even with the quarterback. That means he wants to get outside as quickly as possible. If he's a little closer or behind, that's that run alignment. On third down here, more of a pass situation.
So if we've seen it on film, how easy is it for the defense to identify?
Well, it's easy to identify on film. It's a little harder to identify when you got a bunch of big bodies in front of you. As Ole Miss got everybody on the line of scrimmage here, they might bluff pressure.
Third down 4.
Oh, they bring it.
Hicks into traffic, complete for an Arkansas first down. It's Cheyenne O'Grady, the talented senior tight end out of Fayetteville, who missed some time due to knee surgery week 2 of camp and didn't play last week.
This is a great job by Ben Hicks. The pocket is compressing around him. He stays steady, and an accurate ball to Cheyenne O'Grady. And what a breath of fresh air to have him back it is. The tight end position last week, few too many drops, few too many mental mistakes.
Hicks will split out once again. This is Boyd in the Wild Hog. And a toss to Devion Warren. That'll go down as a pass, and it's a gain of 1. Little Bob Stitt touch fly sweep action.
It's the best way to do that. It's a little touch pass forward. It hits the ground. It's incomplete. But again, that's twice now that I think the timing and the depth is a little off on that Wild Hog. I know it's the first week they put it in, so they're going to talk to Rakeem Boyd on the sideline. You want that to be crisper, and you want it to hit faster. And I wouldn't be surprised if they move them up a half a yard.
Yeah, first week they showed it. Chad Morris said our offense against Portland State was vanilla for a reason. We left a lot on the shelf heading into an SEC game. Boyd changes direction in the backfield, and he's able to rip off a 6-yard gain. Ryder Anderson, junior from Katy, Texas, the stop.
Watch this hole that opens up. That's a complete miscommunication on the offensive line. One we saw a few times last week.
Third down 3. Devois Whaley. He said it took a little change. Been a head coach for 22 years. Hadn't been up there in a while. He admits he can see the game a lot better and communicate down to his quarterback. All the plays start with him, and this looks like a good one. Jarian Ely. And a lot of plays will look really good when you can get Jarian Ely into the open field.
There's a couple guys, Rich Rodriguez made a point, we got to get him the ball. Elijah Moore need 8 to 10 touches, and Jarian Ely got to find ways to get him the ball in space because of that.
They were really excited about Jarian Ely on signing day. He's from Walnut Grove, Mississippi, out of Jackson Prep, where he was a 2-sports superstar. Scotty Phillips in the backfield now. A little toss from Corral, and Phillips just shy of the marker, it looked like. Here's Jarian Ely, ladies and gentlemen, true freshman.
Easy way to get him a touch, and look at him in space. Look at the vision, the speed to turn the corner. He's going to be special. You'll see him as slot receiver. You'll see him in the backfield. They're going to find ways to get him the ball.
So on signing day, you've got to beat a lot of different programs to sign a guy like Jarian Ely. You got to have him say no to Alabama, Clemson, and the Arizona Diamondbacks, who took him with their 31st round pick. Second and 1. Scotty Phillips slides through. Ole Miss first down. Well, as Cole so eloquently explained from the Grove, a lot of mouths to feed in that Ole Miss backfield. We've already seen 3 get touches, and Isaiah Woolard still waiting to see some action. Corral pulls it back, lobs down the sideline. One-on-one ball won by 11. Dontario Drummond, and a flag from Jarquez McClellion. It'll go down as a 32-yard jump ball win for Dontario Drummond at 6'1".
And And this is an RPO, a run-pass option. This is designed.
15 yards in the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Lots of push-off on the end from Drummond. I never saw it.
That play is designed to be a run. But with everybody sucking up and with the size of Dontario Drummond on the outside, Corral took the one-on-one, but I didn't see much there.
No, I agree.
Man.
Maybe we saw a push-off earlier. Left hand to the face.
Boy, I tell you what, I mean, by the book you can call it, but you'll see that on every play when you flip on film. And it's probably because the hand was up in the face. If that hand is on the chest,
yeah,
I think they let that one go.
So a costly flag on Ole Miss. Back to the running game, Scotty Phillips. And we talked earlier, these two teams, to get to bowl eligibility, you look at the schedule, they need this win. They need this conference win. And so the margin of error is slim. You take a play like that off the board in the fourth quarter, or heck, on Thanksgiving weekend, that might look really large.
It's just momentum, Tom. You're down inside the 5, probably. The chance to go up 2 scores early in this game changes the whole complex.
Over the middle on 2nd and 22. Jason Pellerin, the former quarterback, now a sure-handed tight end, picks up 14.
But you can really tell how this run game is opening up one-on-one matchups and big holes in the middle of the field for Ole Miss.
6 consecutive completions for Matt Corral. Corral to a slant again behind Jonathan Mingo. Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Corral had pressure in his face. This is a tough throw, but one that he can make. And Mingo's a guy I'm waiting to get going in this offense. He's that body type that can be the big athletic guy they're used to having on the outside that can win those matchups.
Well, they need a win here. It's 4th and 9, and they keep the offense on the field. What does Richrod have up its sleeve? Pressure coming over the middle. Incomplete. And Ole Miss turns it over on downs. First the offensive pass interference, then the decision to go for it, needing 9.
I love the aggressiveness. Just man coverage across the board. It was there. Ball's a little low. It's tight coverage and a big missed opportunity for Ole Miss.
Texas A&M transfer out of Argyle, Texas. Lost the job to Kellen Mond last year. He was the starter on opening day 2 years ago for Texas A&M. On 2nd and 2, wild hog again, and that one is dropped. Sam Williams said, I'm not falling for that one. It's a loss of 3, and the Land Sharks show up here in the first quarter.
Watch the depth of Boyd. I keep harping on it, but he is about 6 yards, a little more, and that pressure just gets to him before he has a chance to get going. This has to hit quicker. The hesitation and the depth are a little too much.
And without the jet sweep action, what's to keep anybody honest?
Nothing holds that guy there.
Williams runs back on the field late for Ole Miss. 3rd down 5. Quick to the outside, that's complete. Diving forward, Devois Whaley, if he kept his feet, may have been gone. Instead, it's 9 yards before he hit the ground.
That is a great read, a great answer for pressure. But man, if that ball is a foot higher, he's off to the races. I mean, Hicks did the best he could falling away. But if he can keep his feet there, he's got one guy to beat, and that's a touchdown.
2 tight ends stacked on the right side for Arkansas. O'Grady and Gunner. Hicks pressured, and there's Sam Williams again. Quarterback sack, it's a loss of 4, and that's how the first quarter will come to an end here at Vaught Hemingway.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Ole Miss put together a lengthy drive the second time they touched the ball, and Matt Corral was able to throw a touchdown pass to They've been pre-gaming for a while here.
Sun's out, guns out, baby. Yeah, the Grove, it's a pretty good time down there.
Didn't disappoint, did it?
No, not at all.
Rarely is the bar set high and met. Hicks hands it out to Whaley, and Devois Whaley is able to pick up a couple. Senior from Beaumont, Texas. Second string behind Rakeem Boyd. May also see Chase Hayden in the backfield for Arkansas. Third down, 12. Four-man rush. Hicks fires to the outside. Great coverage by Jalen Jones, a junior from Allen, Texas. They were trying to find Trey Knox.
That's the right place to go with the ball, but the pressure forces Hicks to step up, move to his right, and he's late on this throw, trying to work a one-on-one route, come back by Trey Knox. If that ball is out a step sooner, on time, in rhythm, he's got a chance there. It's just a little late because of that pressure off the left side.
Sam Lloyd trying to improve. Started his career at Vanderbilt, then went to Colorado, a native of beautiful San Clemente, California. Another sky-high punt. This one at least carries inside the 15. And Elijah Moore takes the fair catch. They're back Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, Thinking Out Loud with G-Mac and Marcus. Love the show. We need to change the copy, though. We've had the same copy for 3 years right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron and talk about the hottest topics for the coming week.
Shocker. Yeah, we got to get something, you know, something like Marcus is going to continue to make fun of McElroy's clothing choices. I don't know, something to get the people over there.
That's what I would tune in for.
I wouldn't actually, not that. Let's scratch that one.
I think everybody's interested in those two, especially in Texas and LSU tonight, and a barn burner early. And over in our ACC network, Florida State is in danger of losing at home to Louisiana Monroe. Two-man backfield, and Ely had to swing around to find it. Able to take it to the 20. This guy's got elite speed. It's why the Major League Scouts fell in love with him. They'll be playing center field in the spring for the Rebels.
I love the quick, easy throws on first down that Rich Rodriguez has dialed up this entire game so far for Matt Corral. Couldn't get anything going on first last week, and a lot more productive this week.
Matt Corral said he wasn't nervous going into his first start last week against Memphis, but he was maybe overly excited. Speaking of excited, let's go to the studio. Here's Dari.
All right, Tommy, thank you much. Let's keep an eye on what's happening, of course, in Austin. We're watching. Texas had an interception started inside the LSU 5, and in 4 plays could not get in. The Tigers stopped and they lead 3-0.
What a play. Matt Corral finds Elijah Moore. That's that ability to throw on the run that we love.
And a great play design. We've seen Elijah Moore on the quick option route this time. He turns it up down the sideline on a wheel route, and Corral, under pressure, getting hit, delivers a dime.
That's why they love this kid. That's where all the excitement came from. And now nothing doing with Snoop Connor.
Another sprint right. They're going to bluff the quick throw to Moore. See the little pump, and I don't know how you get that ball off, and I don't know how you put it on the money like that. That is a big-time throw by Matt Corral.
If he can continue to do this, we might see the dynamic of the prototypical Rich Rodriguez quarterback change just a little bit. Instead of being a run-first guy who can take hits and be magic with the football, might be pass first. That one incomplete to Drummond. McClellan with the coverage.
And Tommy's definitely got the talent. I mean, he is a good runner, but that's not his strong suit. I mean, he can throw the football. He's athletic enough to do what Rich Rod wants him to do, but they're finding a niche here in getting Matt Corral out of the pocket and on the run.
He's not a big dude either, 6'1", 206. Ole Miss has converted 4 of 6 on third down. A long way to go here.
Arkansas showing pressure here. They're going to keep it on.
Pressure. Corral eludes it on the run, and he finally gets shoved out of bounds. Never pulled the trigger, and Gabe Richardson comes up with the sack.
And that's where I need to see Matt Corral take the next step. Early in his career, he did just redshirt last year, but that pressure he sees, your eyes got to go there right away to a quick answer. Watch his eyes. He doesn't see it till the last minute. You got to see that coming sooner so you can have a quick answer and not take a sack.
Easier said than done. Did you see pressure in the Grove today? I mean, those kids came right after you.
You're right. I'm not saying I can do it. I'm just
yeah.
Do what I say, not as I do.
A little bit different in the Grove with a bunch of 8- and 9-year-olds.
I just down to rib. My hands were a little slippery. I need a towel out there.
Burks takes it at the 15. Gets bottled up, and he's trying to pop it outside. He's got room to run now. Traylon Burks, stutter step to the 30. That was a long run, and it turns into a 15-yard return after a 47-yard punt. Let's step away for a timeout here. Ole Miss with an early lead, but Arkansas with some special teams yardage.
Good job jumping on that.
During the return, illegal block below the waist on the punting team, number 96. That penalty being forced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, timeout.
That's Matt Leffler, our white hat. We've got a timeout now. How many times do you see a flag on the punter? That's what just building off of that legendary performance in week 1. Arkansas sticks with Ben Hicks, and Hicks swings it out to Devion Warren. Warren picks up a first down. If you're anxious, we got a late flag after the tackle out of bounds against Ole Miss. And Jaquez Jones maybe 3 yards into the Arkansas team bench area.
There is no foul for a late hit out of bounds. There is no foul. Second down.
There you go.
Correction. First down. First down.
Yep. Yeah, 10 didn't get him, but 8, C.J. Miller may have given him a little love tap. So Ben Hicks has started this game only 4 of 8 for 22 yards. But is he running the offense efficiently enough in other ways?
He's running it efficiently, but what are we not getting? The throws down the field. We're not stretching the field, and we can run the football like Arkansas can with Boyd. You got to be able to play action and push the ball downfield.
First charge timeout.
May have answered my own question,
Arkansas.
because with the play clock winding down, Arkansas has to burn a timeout. Ole Miss with a 7-0 lead. Back to Oxford in a moment.
They do, and they need to figure out which one it's going to be.
Once again, Hicks will split out wide, and Rakeem Boyd in the wild hog. Arkansas late rotation defensively, and they're going to reverse it. Hicks wants to throw it. He gets pressured and dropped, and Ole Miss able to take it down again. The wild hog has run into some issues. That time the issues were named Ryder Anderson and Jaquez Jones.
They try to do a little reverse here. They want to get Hicks the ball and really throw this one downfield, but you're going to see that route get caught up, never gets there. There's pressure in the backfield, and Hicks has absolutely nowhere to go with the ball.
The junior from Katy, Texas, Ryder Anderson, had a strong game against Memphis last week with a key play. It leaves 2nd and 18. Hicks, flush from the pocket again. On the run, wide open, Arkansas first down, Mike Woods. And Woods takes it to the 20, a gain of 31.
And this is a great job by Ben Hicks. When we asked Chad Morris, what's the #1 trait you're looking for in a quarterback? A guy that can extend plays with his legs, keeps the play alive, gets his eyes back downfield, and finds Woods wide open.
Back to live action. Left side Rakeem Boyd taken down by Coatney.
Quick injury update for Ole Miss, fellas. Inside linebacker Momo Sanogo ruled out of this game by the officials down here on the sideline from Ole Miss. A right ankle sprain, the reason.
Devastating loss. He had 4 tackles, but the leader of that defensive team last week against Memphis. Hicks will split out again. And they overload the line to the right side. Boyd runs it that way.
That's the part of his game that I thought showed up. It's only been one game. They played Portland State last week, fellas, but that's the part of Rakeem Boyd's game that I feel looks a little bit different this year. He seems to run with a little extra power, added about 8 or 9 pounds in the offseason, so he is heavier, but seems to be more willing to take on that contact and finish forward.
3rd down 8. Trips to the right, now they'll empty the backfield. And Ole Miss was never set up. Mike McIntyre said, I like to keep it simple so my guys can simply run the offense, but there have been a couple of confusion and communication issues for Ole Miss defensively. Rebels hold a touchdown lead almost midway through the second. With tempo and efficiency. Cole, what do you got?
Talked to Rhett Lashley, his offensive coordinator at SMU last year. Talked about his grit. Said they benched him in game 3 for a freshman at Michigan. Battled back, didn't pout. Showed the kind of wherewithal that he has as a quarterback.
3rd down 8 for Ben Hicks and company. 4-man rush. And we got no flag on the outside, but Cheyenne O'Grady got tangled up with Armani Linton.
Came back to the exact same play they ran before the timeout. They wanted to get Cheyenne O'Grady matched up on a safety. If he turns this corner, I mean, that's got to be a flag right there. I know I'm an offensive guy, but if that hand's not there, he turns that corner, and that could be a touchdown. That's the matchup they wanted, a safety on Cheyenne O'Grady. They got it. Just a little contact.
You know, SEC has that Twitter feed now. Here's Connor Limpert to attempt a 37-yard field goal. And the lefty with a knuckleball with a doink that goes through. Able to glance on the inside of the post and over the crossbar. He'll take it. How about this one?
Not a double doink, just a single. Hey, it's good. That's 3 points no matter what.
Laces out, Lindsey.
Oh, security guard's got to come down with that.
Yeah,
one.
you got to make a play.
You got to make that catch.
Not sure they needed the nets that time with that one going sideways. But this season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Jarian Ely back for Ole Miss. The lefty Limpert with a line drive this time through Ely's hands, and it will be a touchback. Saturdays in the South is our 8-part documentary that chronicles the history of SEC football. Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, Episode 2 will take you from the Great Depression through World War II and into the 1950s. You can only see Saturdays in the South right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Still seeing some similar defenses now than we saw in the 1950s. The Bear Bryant, Alabama used to run. We'll talk about that next time Ole Miss is on defense. Jarian Ely at tailback for the Rebels.
Delay a game on the offense. Number 2, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, if you're Ole Miss, that's unfortunate.
Unacceptable is what it is. You come out of a change of possession. Matt Corral's got to know that clock is ticking down. to get that ball snapped.
How fast is the game moving from Matt Corral here the first 2 weeks?
It's still moving fast. I mean, we think of him as a veteran in some ways, but his first real significant start and pressure was last week.
Wow, what a look to find Elijah Moore. It's a 15-yard strike.
I'm right here down behind him. I'm not sure he ever did look. I mean, it almost looked like one of those Pat Mahomes no-look passes, fellas.
And again, rolling to the right. Making a living on that tonight.
Arkansas shows pressure from Cameron Curl, and now he'll back up. Again, a fake, and Corral spins his way to a first down for Ole Miss, a scramble of 14 yards.
Just a savvy football player here, Tom. He's got a zone read, keeps it, pump fakes the pressure defender here that is his man. That's his man. Either throw it if he comes towards you, or you run it if you can make it miss. He made a miss there.
Averaging 6 yards a carry. Corral, backwards pass. That should be a live football, and it's covered by Ely deep in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 7. Heads up play by the freshman Ely to get on it. It was Arkansas who took advantage of a backwards pass 4 years ago, kept Ole Miss from going to the SEC title game.
Corral just never had the laces, didn't trust it. Looked like it was coming out of his hand before he even got into his throwing motion.
Interesting, because at practice Thursday, we found a football on Ole Miss practice field that had no laces. That's a pass. That's incomplete. Had you ever seen a football with no laces before?
Now we walked out to practice. The first, quarterback, as soon as I see a ball, I'm going to grab it. I grab it. I'm like, wait a minute. No laces on this one. Rich Rod loves that for practice with his quarterback, so they don't even think about it. You grab it, you throw it. You don't even have a chance of grabbing the laces if they're there. So surprised Corral missed that throw with no laces so poorly. Something they practice a lot.
And then he missed on a simple shovel pass with the left hand. They're down 17. Deep ball. A beautiful pass. A rainbow that falls incomplete. Just out of the reach of Dontario Drummond. If he were a pitcher, you'd call that easy cheese. That was a nice, smooth, long toss.
It really was. Drummond hesitated a little bit right before this moment, squared up to the DB, lost a step, and that's the difference between a completion and being just too far. Got to give that quarterback consistent speed through those vertical routes.
Remember, Mac Brown picked up the penalty his last punt. Able to get this one away, and it'll take a nice Ole Miss hop and trickle all the way inside the 10. A 50-yard punt that time from Mac Brown. No, not the North Carolina head coach and Hall of Famer, but the Ole Miss punter. Welcome back, Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. We had the feeling that Nick Starkel might see some action. Ben Hicks told me there's really no plan communicated to the quarterbacks, but are you surprised we haven't seen him yet?
I am surprised. I was surprised last week when it was in a change of possession right before half, and I'm surprised that Chad Morris hasn't given Nick Starkel some significant time to not be in a 2-minute situation or something before the half. We're still going to see him in this game, I do believe, but Ben Hicks for the meantime.
Long field for Arkansas. O'Grady attaches Boyd to the backfield. And now more movement. Rakeem Boyd bottled up, dropped. Just got back to the line of scrimmage, if anything. Key series here. If Arkansas fails to pick up the first down, Ole Miss could have great field position into their last possession. And Arkansas operating from right in front of the student section. Wholesale changes.
2 tight ends back in the game for Arkansas.
Grayson Gunner and Cheyenne O'Grady. Hicks. Shot downfield, incomplete. And Arkansas looking at a 3rd and 10.
Actually 3 tight ends in the game that time for Arkansas.
By the way, none of those tight ends is the freshman Hudson Henry. He was banged up in camp. We're told he didn't even travel with the team, even though he's expected to play this season. He will not have seen a single play in each of the first 2 games. It's loud for Hicks.
Communication problems last week, amplified now with the noise.
Left tackle's been an adventure. In a collapsing pocket, Hicks misses again, trying to find Trey Knox. Arkansas goes 3 and out, and barely any time came off the clock.
Clean pocket again here for Hicks. Trying to work a backside dig route to Trey Knox. A little bit of contact on the route, but this ball's just got to be down. You can't miss high over the middle of the field. You got to at least give him a chance to go down and get it.
Sam Loy needs to get behind one this time. Gotten underneath his last couple. Better. Elijah Moore, fair catch. And they'll have fantastic field position after a 38-yard punt. 5.5 minutes remain in the first half. Ole Miss back on offense. All right, thanks, Dari. Jimbo's former team falling short. It looks like they tie with Monroe with 18 seconds to go and tally. How about that one? That's your headliner of the day. Scotty Phillips straight ahead. Bumper Pool with the tackle. No chalk needed. Gain of 9.
Great push up front there for Ole Miss that time. Rare sight so far in this game to see Arkansas on that 4 down. They've been bare, and Ole Miss is at a tough time in the trenches.
On 2nd and short, Corral finally gets Corral, but after he picks up 5 and a first down.
This Ole Miss offense right now just hitting on all cylinders. It's been the running from Matt Corral and the throwing outside the pocket, creating positive plays after positive plays and allowing the tempo.
Corral with a check to the sideline. He's going to roll right again. This is a run all the way. And he cuts it back inside. Matt Corral with another juke. Takes it inside the 10. Who says QBs have to step out of bounds? 23-yard run.
And a great play call. We've seen them roll right, throw right, throw right. That time, Scotty Phillips, the running back, was the lead blocker for Corral. And it's a little bit of the wiggle he has. He's not a Pat White like Rich Rodriguez had in the past, but he can do enough with his feet.
Rich Rod has had some runners. Denard Robinson never tied his shoes, but they never caught him either. Here's 1st and goal. Corral hands it off, and Scotty Phillips into the pile. Watch what Matt Corral can do. Look at those hips.
Scotty Phillips out in front. Great job of getting a block there. And a great cut by Corral to extend that run.
Had a great chat with Matt Corral yesterday. Seems like a quarterback that is confident, but still trying to feel his way around this offense.
I think confidence comes with positive plays. You know,
Yep.
Rich Rod even mentioned he didn't seem himself last week before the game at Memphis. A little quiet, a little more reserved. So Rich Rod kind of handled him differently during the game. I see a much more confident player tonight because of what he's doing with his feet, because of the completions outside the pocket.
Dejon Harris led the SEC in tackles last season, I should say, as Rich Rod comes up with another play. 118 tackles for Scuda. And they've talked about limiting his snaps to try and keep him fresh. And it looks like he's got some cramping issues here on a warm night in Oxford.
Yeah, they'd like him to be around 50, 60 plays. They feel good with Grant Morgan, his backup at Mike linebacker, but that's part of it. It's hot. He plays full speed. They want him to keep doing that, not to worry about taking a play off or cramping up or getting tired.
He's played a ton of snaps. He's put up some big-time numbers. A captain of that defense 2 years ago. Was 3rd in the conference in tackles and led the team in both tackles for loss and sacks. It was the first time somebody had done that in an Arkansas uniform, leading in all 3 categories since the early 70s. 2nd and goal for Matt Corral and Ole Miss. Jonathan Mingo split to the bottom of the screen. Connor and Phillips in the backfield. Scotty Phillips taken down for a loss, but a flag. Matt Leffler.
Holding on the offense, number 64. It's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the freshman Nick Broker stepping into SEC play. The freshman from Springfield, Illinois. 4-star recruit. Number 64 in red.
It's tough to teach a young kid. You want him to be aggressive, but sometimes it takes a while to learn when to let those guys go. He's been alternating snaps on the left side with Michael Howard. So they're trying to coach him in between series as much as they can.
It's a lot to learn. Second and goal, Matt Corral and Ole Miss. Corral, delayed handoff on the running back draw, and Phillips makes it to the original line of scrimmage. And that's going to leave third and goal. Defensive coordinator John Chavis. Been in the game a long time. Been in the league a long time. Back to his playing days at Tennessee. Corral pressured, setting up a screen. They get it off to the tight end Pellerin, and he gets up in it on a beautiful open field tackle, and only a gain of 2. Monteric Brown, better known as Buster Brown, came in and took him off his shoes.
Little misdirection. They're going to pump to the right and try to hit a screen back to the left with just one lineman out in front, hoping that misdirection pulls defenders.
Timeout, Arkansas. That's a 30-second timeout.
Didn't pull enough defenders that time, but a safe play call to make sure you don't lose field position. Still an easy field goal. Got to get points here before half to go up a score.
Well, there's John Chavis. Cole, this guy has seen just about everything in college football as we celebrate the 150th birthday of the game. 41 years in the game after playing at Tennessee back in the mid-70s. He's been around a while.
I asked him, what's your first memory of college football? You've been in this thing almost 42 years. You mentioned it. Arrived at Tennessee in 1976 as a player. He said, probably the first tackle I ever made against Alabama. He said, that one's going to stick out more than anything else, he said. But I'll tell you, Tom, he sat there for a good 25, 30 seconds before he answered, because you get a guy that's been around college football that long, a lot of memories. John Chavis has given this game a lot of his life.
Yeah, he gives thought to every answer. Here's a 33-yard attempt. Former Dillon, South Carolina Wildcat, where he was a teammate of Auburn defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. Field goal is good from Luke Logan. Ole Miss able to take a 10-3 advantage on Arkansas with 2:24 to go before the half.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is making it even easier on you with in-store pickup. It's all new and basically means you go to academy.com, order whatever you need, and come get it in store. Get in, get out, get back to having fun with your family.
Chad Morris's Arkansas team still trying to find some rhythm offensively. They've only gathered 84 total yards here in the first half and 31 on the ground. What are they missing?
Well, they haven't been able to stretch the field vertically. So Ole Miss has been able to play close to the box, keep the run in front of them, and they haven't really been threatened by Ben Hicks pushing the ball downfield, something that Starkel does bring to the table.
Florida State is in overtime with Louisiana Monroe tied at 38. He thought that Tennessee loss was bad last week. Whew. Just building on it. Devion Warren out past the 25 and crawls forward for a couple more. Coming up at half, you can watch a live performance of the Pride of the South band. It's over on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app.
Not sure if Willie Taggart can use the hydration excuse 2 weeks in a row, can he?
No, that won't be good.
At some point, you just got to say, we're not very good. We're not where we need to be.
Those teams that were so mighty and proud in the 90s struggling today. Nebraska lost to Colorado. Tennessee lost, I should say struggling this year. Tennessee lost last week, of course. The Georgia State, now Florida State tied with Monroe in OT. Hicks pulled it back and off balance, flicked it out of bounds. How about Michigan? Jim Harbaugh's team went overtime today with Army.
Wow, and Army had a bunch of opportunities to put that away. Interception.
There's
Down
no
in the
foul for Central Grounding. 21 was in the area. Second down.
interception, down to go up 21-7 at one point. Army did, and Michigan fought and hung on. But I tell you what, they're going to have a tough time in the Big Ten if they can't put it together on offense, and they haven't looked.
What did you think of Shea Patterson, the former Ole Miss quarterback, his performance today?
Just doesn't look comfortable. You know, he looked comfortable in an offense where it was RPO based. He could get the ball out of his hands quickly. But right now at Michigan, dropping back, hanging in the pocket, going through reads, he just doesn't look comfortable.
False start on the offense. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Dalton Wagner, sophomore right tackle. It's a young Arkansas team. At that point, so is Ole Miss.
Game clock operator. Please reset the game clock to 2:12. 2:12 on the game clock, please.
60 of Ole Miss's 85
Thank you.
players are freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or sophomores. And look at that big freshman class for this Arkansas team. 44% of the roster.
It's going to be a run to the left side here.
I want you to buy my lottery tickets. Hicks pulled it back and took it himself. He's not known as a runner, but how important are plays like that just to keep the defense honest?
Huge. Keep them honest. I mean, that's all you're trying to do in the zone read. They want to go zone read to the left. They split two receivers very wide to the field to create some space for that. And for Ole Miss, crashed hard. So Hicks isn't going to break a huge run, but now they have to think a little bit about staying backside on that zone read.
Ole Miss has a good chance to get the ball back again. Under 2 minutes to go. Third down, 14. Four-man rush. They get to him with four. Hicks Houdini's his way out of it. And then it's completed. A first down for Arkansas to Trey Knox. And he's finally forced out of bounds with 1:42 to go. A 47-yard magic trick from Ben Hicks.
What a huge play. Sam Williams nearly blew this thing up before the play even started. And Hicks with another big play, keeping his eyes downfield on a second opportunity type play.
Only his sixth completion. There's his seventh, and that ill-advised. Knox goes down, and the clock will run.
See, Williams blows it up here and somehow squeezes through that. That's a veteran quarterback there, Tom. I'm a guy that doesn't panic under pressure, keeps his eyes downfield, and I don't care what it looked like. He gave his guy a chance.
Arkansas wide receivers don't know the play. Play clock at 15. Plenty of time to get it in. Hicks fakes it, pulls it back, and too strong. The play was well designed to get it to Devwah Whaley. But Hicks led him too much.
Boy, another miss high. Trying to suck up the linebackers with a little misdirection. Run bluff from Hicks. And again, if he brings that down, that could be 6.
Well, if last week's offense was vanilla for Arkansas, this one, even though they only have 3 points, at least has shown a couple different flavors and some sprinkles on top.
Love the misdirection.
Arkansas takes its final timeout of the half. That's a 30-second timeout.
They've been creative with going 5 wide, but having tight ends in the game, forcing personnel changes for the Ole Miss defense. Just a few missed opportunities.
And Arkansas is doing it without Austin Capps at left guard. He was hurt late in the game last week. You see Ricky Stromberg, number 51. He got the start today. First start for the freshman out of Tulsa Union. Marty Smith and Ryan McGee, a.k.a. Marty and McGee, the TV show, will be back on the SEC Network Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, starting this week. You can never get enough of the M&M boys. Like everything else, you can also see them live on the ESPN app as well from anywhere.
Those guys don't like each other at all, huh?
No. No, they're not comfortable around each other, which is odd.
We need to get their gig where we could just wear T-shirts.
I'm for that.
Right?
100%. Or a Captain America tee from Ryan. Third and long. Four-man rush again. Again, they get to him, and again, Hicks escapes. Can he outrun the linebacker? Hicks will go out of bounds and take it all the way to the wall. A 6-yard scramble after Dante Evans chased him around.
I'll tell you what, Ole Miss is getting pressure in the pocket off the edges. There is not anywhere for Ben Hicks to stand. He's got to move. Again, tries to keep his eyes downfield. No one there. And Dante Evans forced into a big starting role with Sanogo going down.
43-yard attempt from Lippert. He's already made one from 37. Left foot into it. This one hooking. And they'll say no good. Missed it to the near side. And a missed opportunity for Arkansas after Hicks got creative early in that drive.
Good snap, good hold.
And remember, Lippert put his first one off the upright and through.
Now if you're Ole Miss, you got 2 timeouts, 50 seconds. A lot's going to hinge on this first play. If you can get 5, 6, 7 yards or so, they'll push the tempo and try to make a run at getting in field goal position.
Louisiana Monroe just missed a point after. In overtime, they lose to Florida State after keeping it interesting through overtime. 5-yard gain. So Florida State escapes criticism with a loss at least for a week.
Ole Miss here looks content, building some momentum off that missed field goal. Going into half, the score up. They're going to let this clock tick out.
Scotty Phillips. And he'll be just shy of first down, it looks like. So Ben Hicks in this first half for Arkansas, 7 of 16, only 98 yards. But he didn't turn the ball over. Arkansas having a hard time running it. Ole Miss is holding to 38 yards rushing. While Matt Corral has been dynamic for Ole Miss, 145 yards through the air and a touchdown. Scotty Phillips is averaging 3.5 yards a carry. Corral averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. And the Hogs will have a chance to get their offense going coming out of the locker room. Let's go down to the sideline. Cole standing by with Coach Luke.
How much easier does that make your message in halftime, coming away with no points there right before the half?
Yeah, that's a big stop from the defense. It's a 4-quarter game. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Just got to keep fighting.
What does it do, not only for your offense, but your entire football team, when Matt Corral is able to ad-lib and make some of the wacky plays that he does?
Well, he looks much more comfortable tonight. We have a couple of red zone penalties, pass interference, and a holding call in the red zone, but he looks much more comfortable.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Cole, thanks. Arkansas get the ball in the second half. Interesting one and what feels like a must-win for both. Let's take it to the studio with Dari, Chiz, and Doring. Tonight is no exception. As we head into the second half, it's just a touchdown lead for Ole Miss. Chad Morris's offense hadn't hit its stride yet, but don't blame the quarterback. They've only run for 38 yards in the first half. Meanwhile, on the Ole Miss side, this is a Rebels offense which is moving behind the dynamic play of their quarterback, Matt Corral. It's a 10-3 lead for Ole Miss over Arkansas. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. It feels like a must-win game for both of these teams as you look towards the end of the season, and it feels like either one can win this right now.
And it feels like Arkansas needs to get the ground game going. I think the best player on this field is still Rakeem Boyd, just 38 rushing yards. And on the Ole Miss side, Matt Corral is playing like a quarterback that has found his confidence and really is a fit for this Rich Rodriguez offense.
We've been wondering all night when or if Nick Starkel would get in. Plans from the coaching staff said we'll use him at some point, but so far, all Ben Hicks. This kickoff will check up. And so nothing doing on the return. Let's go down to the sidelines and Cole Kubelik.
Tom, I spoke with Arkansas head coach Chad Morris coming out of the half. He said they just need one guy to make one play. He feels that's contagious. Therefore, it's going to change at quarterback. Nick Starkel will start the second half for the Razorbacks.
Wow. How about that? That's what we were waiting on. I mean, it's interesting because I know you say Nick Starkel can stretch the field with his arm. Does that equate to better success running the ball directly?
Absolutely can. If you can force Ole Miss to not have 7, 8 guys in the box, or at least play the safeties low and get involved in the run game, you're going to be more successful. So we'll see how much early with Nick Starkel they trust him after that interception last week when he came in.
Grad transfer from A&M, graduated in 3 years after playing for Kevin Sumlin, and he started the opener 2 years ago in UCLA. His broken ankle led to the biggest blown lead in college football history. He's a Texas native, an Argyle Ranger out of Liberty High School, participated in Elite 11 and the opening. And look at this, it was here again today, rocking the Justin Bieber shirt during pregame warmups. So lost the job to Kellen Mond, had a chance to come to Arkansas and stay in the SEC. And last week against Portland State, threw an interception on his first possession working on a short field. This was the look pregame. What do you got on that?
Yeah, it's the same shirt I saw you wearing last night, isn't it?
Fair. It's fair, yeah.
Both believers, huh?
There's no doubt about it. Shout out to Justin for, being honest about his real feelings this week. Relate to that.
I got to get this ball snapped.
They won't. Going backwards. Cole, what do you got on Bieber?
Said J.D. Rogers, his mentor back in his hometown,
First charge timeout, Arkansas.
was the guy who kind of came up with the idea to go with the Justin Bieber shirt pregame. Asked him his favorite song, stuck in the moment.
You want to sing a few bars?
Don't know one word.
Starkel had a pair of 400-yard passing games
That's a 30-second timeout.
at Texas A&M, running
30-second timeout.
the air raid for Kevin Sumlin. How do his skills fit what Chad Morris wants to do offensively?
Well, Chad Morris wants to run the football. He wants to play action off that. He wants to go tempo. He wants to spread the ball around. Nick Starkel is the more talented thrower. But can he use the tempo? Can he command the offense like Ben Hicks can? Hicks had 3 years in this system. Starkel has had 3 weeks of camp and a summer. So obviously he's a little behind the 8 ball, and a penalty right there. Didn't see the clock. Something he's got to be able to do to manage this game and manage this offense pre-snap.
So they had to burn the timeout in a touchdown game. You wonder if that might hurt him late. Gives it up, takes a hit, but nothing doing in the run game with Rakeem Boyd. It'll be no gain. And let me tell you, Nick Starkel just got welcomed to this game rather rudely. He got hit like a bottle of Wonderbird.
I mean, some coaches will teach this. Hey, the QB could keep it. He's a threat, so make him feel it, and he might not do it next time, or might not even think about keeping it. But
Kadir Shepard didn't wrap up, didn't take him down. Clean right in front of the referee. Second down, 15, play clock at 5. Out route complete. That's Trey Knox. A lot of meat left on the bone after that gain of 8.
you can already see the ball jumps out of Nick Starkel's hands. He's accurate. Just got to put everything together with being a field general. Not just being a talented quarterback, but making sure you manage the clock, you get guys lined up, as you see him here, communicating with his offensive line, the protection as it starts to get loud.
Ole Miss brings 3, and the ball was in, well, it was complete to Burks, but short of the marker. 4th and 1, and the first Nick Starkel possession of the game will fail to pick up a first down. The starter, Ben Hicks, asked him what the quarterback room was like. He said, it's really interesting. It's interesting in many ways, but not the least of which is because they both have very different backgrounds. So they're at the grease board, they're going through the playbook. They both have different ideas of how play can be successful. And of course, so does their head coach, Chad Morris, and their OC, Joe Craddock. I would think quarterback rooms in this day and age when you're competing could be more than interesting. It would be rare for them to be 100% friendly.
Absolutely, especially for a guy like Starkel, who got injured when he was the starter, got beat out, transferred, got beat out again. I mean, he's a talented quarterback that knows he's good enough to be on the field, hasn't really put it all together or proved that he can do it yet. So the fact that that quarterback room is healthy, not been in competitions, it's not easy to do so. That goes a long way for the entire team and the chemistry within that.
Matt Corral was exciting in the first half. The redshirt freshman quarterback will keep it and make it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. First possession, second half. Grant Morgan playing behind Dijon Harris in to make the stop. Seven carries for 40 yards for Corral. The toss looked a little bit forward, and Scotty Phillips takes it to the right side. But all the quarterbacks Rich Rodriguez has had over the years. Go back to Sean King at Tulane. This is a high energy coach. Woodrow Dantzler at Clemson, Pat White, Denard Robertson, Shoelace, and Khalil Tate, who looked like a Heisman candidate his freshman year at Arizona, slowed by an ankle injury last year. 3rd and 7 over the middle, complete. A tick behind Elijah Moore. Body control to haul it in for 13 yards and a first down.
Great job by Matt Corral there of looking to the right side of the field to hold that Mike linebacker and open up a window on the left for Elijah Moore.
This was an anemic offense last week up at the Liberty Bowl. Ole Miss never got it going in their season opening loss.
Elijah Moore, with the ball a little behind there. Great adjustment by Moore. He's their go-to guy. 3rd down, more often than not, the play's designed to go to him, and Corral's looking his way.
7-yard game for Scotty Phillips. 3rd and 1. You get the feeling if they pick up this first down, they'll jump right up back on the ball, try to get tempo going again. Just shy. Phillips got knocked at the line of scrimmage by Melvin Agim.
Oh, Agim does a great job there, and he's something. He's a guy, his size and athleticism right here over the nose guard. Watch him take this block on and strip it and make the play, keeping his shoulder square. Now a big 4th down here for Ole Miss.
Corral out of the shotgun, needing 1 yard. Phillips next to him. Little option look. Fake. He lost the football into the hands of the Razorbacks. Joe Fouché finds it, and Arkansas with the takeaway will stall Ole Miss's momentum.
And a crucial mistake here for Matt Corral. We saw the pump fake work early on a keeper. This time that ball gets too extended, doesn't have time to get a second hand on it, and Arkansas down a score. They have the running back or Corral's job to keep it. He keeps it. He doesn't need to do a full pump fake extended with his right hand. You see the space there. If he just puts his shoulder down, he's only got to get 1 yard. So crucial mistake there, but it should have been a first down.
Strong throw from Nick Starkel out to Mike Woods, and it's a first down for Arkansas. So it's twice Ole Miss has turned the ball over on 4th down. Once they went for it and didn't get it, and then the Matt Corral fumble.
Here getting our first dose of Nick Starkel operating this tempo. Using hand signals at the line of scrimmage, communicating the protection. This is what we were wondering if he could handle. And the coaching staff really wanted to see him do this.
Mike McIntyre's defense hasn't allowed a touchdown yet tonight, but look at this. Arkansas off and running. A hurdle from Boyd. Back-to-back first downs for the Razorbacks.
That's what they got to get going. Got to get Rakeem Boyd going downhill. Tight end on the backside. Cheyenne O'Grady gets a great block to spring Boyd. Once he gets going downhill, he's tough to bring down. It's just getting him that initial burst and a hole to start him going.
Starkel stands tall, delivers it too tall. Cheyenne O'Grady, the intended receiver. Starkel 3 for 4 here this half. Didn't play at all in the first half, as Ben Hicks went 7 of 16 and shared snaps with Rakeem Boyd in the Wild Hog. Pressure from the edge. Boyd runs right past it, bends it to the outside, and Boyd gets dragged down by Jaquez Jones. A gain of 8, and now this Arkansas offense is really in a rhythm.
Great blocking on the left side of the offensive line there by Ty Clary. Springs open another hole.
It's like watching the Mustache Man play wagon wheel at the library on a Friday night. They've got their rhythm. 3rd and 2. Wild Hog, and a first down for Boyd. A whole pile of Hogs moving it further downfield. Needed 2, got 5, and Boyd needs a breather.
It looked like he moved up about a half yard, almost a full yard on that Wild Hog. Before, his toes were about 6 yards deep. It was hitting too late. That time he was closer to 5.5, 5 yards with his toes, which is about where your normal quarterback would be in the shotgun, and that way you can get downhill much quicker.
Devwa Whaley replaces Boyd, and they'll shift and put Starkel under center and then empty the backfield. Quick hitter to the outside. They want to throw it again. That was a forward pass. You can't. Mike Woods running the wrong way, and he's dropped all the way back at the 45-yard line. 15 yards towards the Grove, not what Arkansas had in mind.
Boy, they want to get this ball to Cheyenne O'Grady right here. He's going to go up the field, but watch his eyes. He's looking this way. And so when the ball's supposed to get thrown, he looks over his right shoulder here. Where's he looking? Wide open for a touchdown, but...
Well, they'd already thrown it forward once, so that one was destined to fail from the get-go. It was about a yard forward to the perimeter to get to Woods anyway. 2nd and 24, out of the backfield, Whaley. Looked like Starkel and O'Grady messed up on the snap that play.
The ref called that one forward. See, I was looking downfield to see the double pass. Couldn't tell if he did, but that is a huge mistake if you're right. That ball has got to clearly be thrown backwards. And just a lot of mental mistakes on that play, which, if done right, that's a walk-in for 6.
And it's left him with a 3rd and 10 now here eventually, down a touchdown. Things were looking positive for Arkansas. Woods in motion. Starkel completes it. There's a first down and more for Knox in a foot race inside the 5. He got all the way in the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. "38-yard catch and run." Flag back at the 39-yard line.
Ineligible player downfield on the offense.
Killer.
Number 89 was covered up and went downfield on the pass. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Absolute killer for Arkansas. The tight end Grayson Gunner was covered up and he went downfield.
And one of the reasons Chad Morris felt comfortable with Ben Hicks is he would see things like this. Number 89 running downfield to tight end. He's not even going to get the ball, but he is covered up. He's an ineligible receiver.
And it looked like 16 Burks was the guy who had him covered up.
Yeah. Burks is a true freshman. Veteran quarterback in there's got to see that. You got to look right and left and make sure your formation is correct.
A lot on a quarterback's plate every snap.
There is. Trying to get the big bucks.
I guess so. 3rd and 16. They'll empty it out again. Starkel on the run. Boom! What a hit! And he stays on his feet. We got a flag coming and a first down for Arkansas. O'Grady took a pop from Julius and stayed on his feet.
They're going to review this one for targeting. Jalen Julius.
Personal foul, targeting number 26. That play is under further review.
Matt Leffler, our referee. John Bible is our replay official. Let's take a look as we go to break. Jalen Julius coming in, number 26 in red. He's waiting. Did he launch? Yeah. Did he get the helmet? We'll take another look when we return.
Great job taking that targeting off. There was no forcible contact to the head there. But now a huge fourth down here for Arkansas. Down a score.
Nick Starkel is the quarterback. Rakeem Boyd a half step behind him. Boyd needed 2. Don't think he got it. And he'll line him up short, a yard short.
A great push by the defensive line for Ole Miss. Josiah Coatney pushed his man all the way into the running lane so Boyd couldn't get going downhill as quick as he wanted to. And a huge stop.
So the Land Sharks stand tall. The 1 yard was the difference, maybe the difference in this game from Oxford. Back from their opening week loss on the road at Memphis. Matt Corral with a touch pass and room on the edge for Jarian Ely, at least for a moment. And they got to him quickly. Bumper Pool with a stop from his linebacker spot. Plenty of snaps for the freshman Ely tonight. They fake the end around. Scotty Phillips straight ahead. It's looking more and more like a Rich Rodriguez offense here in week 2.
Yeah, you're getting the misdirection. You're getting the ball on the edge. You're basing out of running the football, getting it going downhill, and then allowing your quarterback to play to his strengths. Get outside the pocket and make plays.
They had the tempo early. 4 of 6 on their first half dozen third downs, struggling since. But the misdirection, Matt Corral looks a lot more comfortable with it now. On the run out, he's able to find his tight end Cooley. Makes a defender slip, and Cooley bowling balls his way past midfield into Arkansas territory for 19 yards.
And that misdirection just plays with the eyes of the defense. They're going to leak the tight end out to the right. And watch the eyes here. Watch what this misdirection in the backfield does to the defensive end that should be on that tight end. He's got his eyes in the backfield. He's late. Gets out leveraged. A big first down.
This Arkansas team playing without Dorian Gerald at one defensive end. He is out for the year, an injury last week. Corral with another nice fake. And it's Scotty Phillips taking advantage. A rip of 9 that time.
Speaking of doing it without Tom, Alex Gibbons, right tackle for Ole Miss, went to the locker room, not really sure why, but Bryce Matthews taking his spot at right tackle.
Matthews, a junior from outside of Nashville. Dad Jason played in the NFL with the Colts and the Titans. On 2nd and 1. Scotty Phillips right near the marker. This is where we remind you that the line is unofficial. The yellow line on your screen. And Matt Leffler is taking a close look at that one. And they're going to bring out the chain. Interesting dynamic with Matt Corral last week against Memphis. He was having a hard time with his cadence and specifically getting the call out to the entire offensive line. Rich Rodriguez has been through that before. When Denard Robinson was a young quarterback for him at Michigan, a very soft-spoken quarterback, they had to drill him and work on his cadence to be louder and for his voice to cut through to his teammates.
Yeah, and with this offense, there's more than he had last year with Longo in communicating with the offensive line, communicating with receivers. It's still tempo. It's still more simple than your traditional offense, but a little more on the plate of Corral as far as communicating. And Rodriguez doesn't do silent count. He doesn't do it. He says, we're going to communicate. We're going to use verbal and or claps. So it's something as a quarterback you got to learn to project. You got to make sure you go tackle to tackle, especially with some young guys out there. Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Jarian Ely is a young guy, freshman in the backfield. Corral pulls it back from him. Wants to throw on the run. Intermediate route incomplete. Trying to thread the needle and find Tylen Knight, who's played all over the place for Ole Miss in his career. But great coverage in the secondary by Greg Brooks Jr.
Boy, and early on this play, Tylen Knight has him beat. Mailbox him. That's where you put your hand up. You say, throw it up. Doesn't do it. He's a new at receiver. He played running back, played defensive back last year, all over the field, but new at receiver. That's one of those you might throw up your hand and hope that Corral sees you and launches it.
Pressure coming. Corral will chuck this one out of bounds. May have gotten with a face mask because the helmet came off and 2 flags came flying. Zach Williams, opportunity for defensive snaps here in this half. May have just gifted a first down. Funny part is the pressure was enough because Corral had already decided to throw it away.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Number 50, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down. Correction, 56 on the foul.
Yeah, that'll be a face mask.
That one almost came off.
It eventually did.
Almost looking at his ear hole there.
What do you got on the eye black?
Tell you what, Matt Corral is one of those guys that plays with a ton of swagger. You don't want to make him angry, because I feel like he's one of those guys that plays a little better when he's got a chip on his shoulder or something to prove.
Went through a couple different high schools in California. And hands this one off. Playing room on the left side. This is Scotty Phillips. And he is down inside the 1-yard line. 21-yard run for Phillips.
Great job on the left side of that offensive line. True freshman left tackle Nick Broker. A great block on the outside to seal that. Phillips does the rest.
Ball was really close to breaking the plane. They'll get the snap off. Phillips right side. That one breaks the plane. Right in front of the student section. Second touchdown of the game for Ole Miss. Luke Logan on for the point after. His holder is Mac Brown. (17-3). Ole Miss with the lead. Scotty Phillips carrying the mail for Ole Miss. The senior takes it the final yard after taking it halfway home.
The sideline over here somewhere to make this play. They didn't have enough guys on the field, and last second he runs on, goes, oh, okay.
It's like coming over the boards in hockey with a late line change. On 2nd and 7, straight ahead Boyd. First down Razorbacks. What's different with Nick Starkel running this offense?
I think the ball at times comes out a little quicker. Obviously with a little more velocity, but the ball comes out of his hand quicker, and he's got the element to be able to stretch the field, though they haven't used it yet.
Boyd looking for room. That's 5 on first down.
Chad Morris told me right after halftime, guys, one of those reasons he doesn't think they've been able to find explosive plays is inability to push the ball down the field. One of the reasons he wanted Nick Starkel to get the start here in the second half.
So then do it. I need to see it, right? I mean, you got a guy in, at least take a shot. Sometimes you got to take a shot just to take it. Open up some things underneath in the run game. Open up the quick game. Back up some of those guys that are playing a lot of press coverage here because they're not worried about it. Man free here. Safety playing 10 yards off the ball. I'd take a shot.
Starkel completes it. for a first down and then a late throwdown, and plenty of flags come in.
That's a great job by Starkel there. They had vertical routes on the outside, so he's got the option to take a shot, but a little soft coverage on that slot receiver. Takes
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Number 5 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
John Haynes flagged.
So good job there by Starkel of not having to push it downfield, just to push it downfield. There's an easy throw, take it, move on.
Starkel 8 of 9 for 50 yards. Oh, lost ball. It's on the ground. Ole Miss says they have it. It was bobbled by Devoir Whaley, and the Rebels' Luke Knox comes up with the football.
Get ready to see the shark tooth necklace, fellas. It's coming out.
Do we need the shark tooth necklace? Is that where we are in life?
Who doesn't need a shark tooth necklace?
All right, Starkel and Whaley talking about this handoff. That's in the right spot. I mean, that's the thing with these read plays. Running backs have to be able to open up their hands and take it if it's there, but you got to be deliberate. Have to be deliberate. Didn't close down the ball quick enough that time. It's on the ground.
An opportune time for a turnover for Arkansas. Snoop Connor, freshman from Hattiesburg, with the carry. Arkansas has not been a come-from-behind team lately. They've lost 10 consecutive games that they trailed entering the fourth quarter.
Saw it going up.
2nd and 7 for Corral. Out to Cooley. He makes 2 miss. Octavius Cooley with a first down run for Ole Miss after the catch. He covers 11.
This is just an RPO, a run-pass option here. He's going to be reading the backside defensive end. If he pauses, kind of like that third down conversion, this end right here, if he pauses, you're going to outflank him with the tight end. Can hand it off or throw that, makes the right decision.
Cooley would make a great goal fighter. A pair of Olays and Ole Miss, under the direction of Matt Corral, will dance their way to the opposite end. They hold a 2-touchdown lead as we head to the fourth quarter. 3, Ole Miss with the lead. Corral keeps it. Boom. He's going to take some hits in this conference if he keeps the ball a lot. And that time, Hayden Henry and Joe Fouché combined to take him down.
Yeah, you love the competitiveness, Loves to keep the play alive, but you'll learn quick. Those hits start adding up. And it is week 2, so you feel fresh, but got to protect yourself when you can.
This sharp, short field, thanks to the Ole Miss takeaway. It was messy. Here's a 2nd and 9 now. And Phillips with a first down run. Some trinkets on the sideline. Cole show it off.
You can have your turnover planks and your turnover number 2 pencils. Ole Miss is going with the bling. The shark tooth necklace. Everybody's got a turnover gimmick, right? Ole Miss Rebels, they debuted this at the hotel last night, showed it to the team. Obviously, Knox was able to get it by recovering the fumble just a moment ago. You can see the energy from these guys when they give it out. I know a lot of us think some of these things are silly, but they came straight to get this thing out, and we're really pumped about it.
I've never seen a shark tooth necklace like that. Corral, late pitch. And that'll net Ole Miss a couple more yards, and the ball came loose. Arkansas with a takeaway. Cameron Curl with the run back. And the Rebels finally, no, Curl still strutting to the 5 and a score. Right through traffic and a 68-yard return. Whoa, the mistake by Corral gave Arkansas an opportunity. The first touchdown of the game comes on a rumble by Curl.
Wow. You know what? Sometimes when the offense isn't getting it going, the defense has to step up and make a play. That's what you're taught to do. Receiver, stand them up, strip the ball out when you can, and Curl stripped it out and took it the rest of the way.
Can't wait to see the hogtooth necklace. Limpert for the point after.
Tusk. I think it's Tusk.
Yeah, a giant tusk to the takeaway. Shocker, Arkansas and Ole Miss coming down to the wire. Corral pitched it late. Cooley got stood up, and he got stripped. Cameron Curl, the junior from San Diego, by way of Muskogee, Oklahoma, through traffic. Between these two SEC West teams have come down to the wire 4 years ago. Arkansas kept Ole Miss from going to Atlanta and playing for the SEC title game. Last year in Little Rock on a cold, rainy night on the hard turf, it came down to the end. Last 2 years, crazy comebacks. Ely takes it straight ahead. And now let's go back to the studio for the comeback moment, supplemented by Aflac.
All right, Tom, how about a program you are mighty familiar with as we celebrate the comeback moment from Aflac? Missouri bouncing back from the tough loss in Laramie a week ago. Kelly Bryant, sure, he threw for a lot of yards in that loss, but he turned it over a couple of times. How about a nice, clean 3-touchdown game and a defensive standout performance for the Tigers, 38-7 over West Virginia.
Bryant to Okuwebanam, pretty good combination for Barry Odom's team. And even though they lost in the non-conference last week, somebody's got to give Georgia a run in the East, right? Could it be Missouri or could it be Florida? Who do you like?
I think Missouri's got an opportunity to do so on offense. They can definitely put up some points with Okuwebanam and Bryant. They have some talent there. Roundtree in the backfield. I just worry about the defense. I mean, Georgia is going to be extremely tough to stop running the football, let alone if they need to throw 50 times a game. Fromm can do that too.
Jake Fromm went 10 of 11 today. They beat Murray State 63-17. And then Stetson Bennett still had time to put it in the air 13 times. Edwards gets a breather. Cameron Curl, officially a 69-yard fumble return to give Arkansas its first touchdown of the game. Matt Corral's ad-lib got it to Cooley on the last offensive play, but then Cooley got stripped. They go with the end around. Elijah Moore popped behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a couple. Isn't football a funny game? I mean, the momentum and the confidence just seems to pendulum back and forth, big play after big play.
We mentioned it before this game even started that it was the little things. The margin for error is so small with these teams. You're driving, you get strips, now all of a sudden it's a ball game.
Corral finds Moore, and this time he's able to take it forward for a gain of 10. Cameron Curl in on the stop. Cameron's dad Greg was in the Navy. Cameron was born in San Diego, then made the way to Oklahoma where he played his high school ball. And against Portland State last week, his first pick and his first sack. Snoop Connor in the backfield. Also key, he had a targeting foul overturned in that game, so didn't cost him any time this one.
Arkansas bringing pressure off the edge here.
That'd be Bumper Pool. Here he comes. Corral lobs it, sideline shot, incomplete. We got a flag coming. We also have an official who lost his hat. So we'll see if the receiver was out of bounds before the pass interference was committed.
Pass interference on the defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Field judge Heriberto Bonet with the flag, and he did it without a hat on. You saw him forced out of bounds. That's why the hat came down.
That's a bad call. That's a bad call. I don't see that. Got to let a little bit of contact go on the outside, especially early in that route, and immediately McClellan turned his head and started to play the football.
Corral gets dropped at midfield. Second down coming. Remember, Williams had the face mask penalty earlier this half. Key drive for Ole Miss, up a touchdown. Start of the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 8. Connor only picks up a few.
This is
so 3rd and 5. What do you draw up?
That's a situation where I'd love to see Ole Miss take a little more time off the clock. You know, we're in the fourth quarter. You're up a score. You snap that ball with around 20 seconds left. I know you want to push some tempo, but also that clock is your friend. Let it keep ticking.
You got an RPO coming?
Yeah, you see 3 receivers to the top of your screen here, so I don't think they're going to get Corral outside the pocket. I'd look for something over the middle of the field.
4 rushers, and over the middle, complete. First down and a beautiful move by Elijah Moore. He bends it back inside. An Ole Miss touchdown from Elijah Moore. Second touchdown of the game for the sophomore out of St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale.
Boy, he is special. Look at this. Nobody over him, shows Corral his eyes. It's a great, savvy route because he's supposed to go vertical. He's not supposed to catch the ball there, but sees the void, shows Corral his eyes, and they were on the same page.
Going after is good. A 5-play, 74-yard drive. Matt Corral and Elijah Moore hook up for the second time tonight. This hookup's going to look good in the morning. 46 yards later, Elijah Moore finds. All right, Joy, thanks. LSU missing some key defenders. Grant Delpit, Rashard Lawrence, and Michael Divinity not in on that last drive as the Longhorns close the gap. No return for Arkansas. Let's take a look at that last touchdown. Elijah Moore now career high in receiving, 130.
Well, Ole Miss had the right play design. You're going to see 2 safeties split for cover 2, and Elijah Moore is actually supposed to take this beater right down the middle of the field and catch that about 18 to 22 yards. But what I love is they bring pressure. There's a void, so he shows Corral his eyes early. Corral sees it and puts it on him. That play is supposed to be designed to hit further down the field, but those 2 guys on the same page turn that into an easier completion and a bigger play.
Unlike you and the 4th grader in the Grove earlier today.
Yeah, he didn't catch my hot route. Gotta give me those eyes.
Give me the eyes.
Come on.
Yards after the catch, monster for Ole Miss, $155. Starkle hands it off, and hello. Nowhere to go for Rakeem Boyd. Lakia Henry, JUCO transfer out of Dodge City Community College. And he's playing like he's in the wild, wild west. He met up with Boyd quickly. Second down, 11. That touchdown pass, by the way, for Ole Miss a moment ago, came on a 3rd and 5. Starkle lobs it. It is incomplete. He was trying to fit it over the safety, and Cheyenne O'Grady had a hard time adjusting.
As Starkle just was not able to step into this throw. He's got pressure coming into his face. If he's able to plant his feet, step into this throw, he can put a lot more velocity on it. But look, right guard right in his lap, couldn't get enough velocity on that throw. Now a 3rd and long. This is dangerous territory for Arkansas.
Ole Miss shows pressure. They bring 4 only. Starkle downfield, caught back shoulder. Beautiful hookup with Cheyenne O'Grady. And you see there a difference offense with that dude on the field.
And this is what Starkle can bring to the quarterback position. A laser to the right sideline on the back shoulder, back hip of Cheyenne O'Grady, who they are really glad to have back. Just a little switch route, verticals all across the board. Starkle does a great job of seeing the coverage over the top and putting it on the back hip.
Starkle again tipped. It is bobbled and it falls to the turf. Missed opportunity. Armani and Linton can't believe, Julius can't believe he didn't squeeze it. Keydron Smith may have knocked it out of his hands.
A little miscommunication on routes there. Knox and O'Grady were really close to each other. Starkle was trying to get rid of the ball. And boy, as a quarterback, when you see that ball pop up, Hold your breath for a second. Arkansas dodges a bullet.
BYU just took the lead on Tennessee in overtime on Rocky Top. Starkel going that same route but opposite side. Over the head of Treylon Burks, the freshman from Warren, Arkansas.
Another 3rd and long. Last 3rd and long, they went 4 vertical routes. Starkel made a great back shoulder ball. This time they got 3 receivers and a tight end. There's O'Grady right there. I'd keep an eye on him. 1 receiver split to the top.
Movement right side, Dalton Wagner.
False start on the offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Tell you what, it might be 4-down territory. Still early, so I could completely understand if you don't get this punting away. But if I'm Joe Craddock, offensive coordinator for Arkansas, I'm trying to get about 7 or 8 yards right here. Give myself a chance to at least think about going for it on 4th. But if you get nothing, you got to punt.
Starkel dropped. They beat the right side of the line. Charles Wiley with the sack. It's a loss of 9, and Arkansas is going to have to punt it away.
Oh, and this is just not a good job by the right tackle here. Dalton Wagner, he's going to have pressure off the edge. And watch his hands. Never gets extended. Lets him get into his body, and you're not going to win as a tackle if you don't anchor your base and get your arms extended there.
3rd sack of the night for the Rebels. Sky-high punt. Elijah Moore asks for a fair catch. He takes it home amidst a trio of Razorbacks. It's a 32-yard punt. We'll see if Ole Miss will work on the clock. They've certainly worked on the Arkansas quarterbacks. This time, protection drops for Starkel, and he goes down. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Is it fait accompli that it'll be Alabama and Georgia in Atlanta at the end of the season? Well, here's a look at teams in the East. Missouri with a nice bounce-back win. Tennessee just scored moments ago in overtime, and they're down 1 to BYU. They're in danger of starting the season 0-2 for the first time since 1988. I don't think it's going to be the Vols in Atlanta, regardless of if they can pull this one out in OT. Vandy had a hard time covering one of the most dynamic players in college football today. Did they read the scouting report? Rondale Moore, 13 catches, 220 yards in their loss in West Lafayette.
At that point, you go not the boxing 1 like basketball. You go boxing 2 there. Just put 2 guys on him and say, you know what, throw it to anybody else. Anybody.
Purdue threw for over 500 yards in that game.
That's pretty good. More than I had in the Grove earlier.
Yes, just I don't think you completed a pass in the Grove.
Hey. Working with some inexperienced receivers on the outside. They don't quite know the whole offense yet.
I haven't seen that many drop passes in the Grove since Chaz was hitting on Becky.
Oh, my.
Remember Chaz last night? 3rd and 3.
I do.
Arkansas only 5 of 14 on 3rd down. The Ole Miss defense has made some plays. And now let's see if the offense has one in their pocket with Matt Corral out of the shotgun. And they do. This is Snoop Connor. Grab your green hat. We're going streaking. 26-yard gain to pick up the 1st down and plenty more.
I don't care who touches the ball tonight for Ole Miss. It seems like everybody's doing it. If I'm Arkansas, you got to put one more in the box there. Just a 7-man box on a 3rd and short.
Snoop Connor, 5A Mr. Football at Hattiesburg High School. Nice pickup. Ole Miss has a loaded backfield. Scotty Phillips, the leader. 7 yards for Phillips.
Fellas, Matt Luke came over to this group, this Ole Miss offensive line before this series, questioned their pride, asked them if they had pride, said, show me your pride on this drive, and a Marniaro Rivera type drive for this Ole Miss offensive line here trying to close out this game.
Throwing cutters. Is there a Luis Gonzalez on the other side for Arkansas?
I don't know, but Ben Johnson was over there. Eli Johnson was over there bleeding from his nose, spitting out of his beard. He's ready to roll.
That's aggressive. 2nd and 2. Phillips dances behind that line. A hole opens. It's a big one. And Phillips going to take guys with him all the way into the end zone. A 26-yard physical run for Phillips. Most of that yardage coming after contact.
Offensive line opening up holes in the tight ends for Ole Miss. Huge in the run game. Peller in there with a block that just sprung it.
Tight ends have been great for Ole Miss tonight. Outside of that Cooley fumble.
Think anybody got my old school reference?
Yeah, I got it.
Everybody's doing it. I didn't know if you got it. I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
that's all
sure.
I care about.
With $5 million that the government knows about. Scotty Phillips. Hey, Dari, thanks. He's getting it done going downfield. He's now 9 of 10 on passes 15 yards or further downfield for 231 and 2 touchdowns. He's stretching the field.
That's ridiculous. 9 of 10 pushing the ball downfield.
Big return opportunity for Devion Warren, and he'll give Arkansas fantastic field position. And a flag late. It looks like they think that was a horse collar. But I thought the kicker, Casey Griffith, had him by the back of the jersey, not inside the collar. BYU just knocked off Tennessee. That's a fistful of jersey, unless they get him for a late hit.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 91. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Did we change the definition of horse collar? I saw the same thing last week.
No. These are the type of plays I wonder why in the technology and the replays that we have, why can't the booth just say, hey, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, why not? Because I know it's not going to have competitive implications right now, but that's the wrong call. It's not even close. Just ring down and say, hey, guys, got that one wrong.
There is no foul for horse collar tackle.
Hey!
It was at the number or below.
There is communication available with SEC officials talking to each other over the headset, so a lot of times they can communicate that before they even converge, or they can talk it through.
Right, and that might have been a judge way on the other side or something that seemed, no, that was not even close to being a horse collar. So great job by the Stripes down there to get it right.
So an upset on Rocky Top. Tennessee 0-2 for the first time since 1988. BYU goes into Knoxville and knocks them off in overtime. Deep ball, complete, and an Arkansas first down. And the Razorbacks taking advantage of the field position after that penalty. 46 yards to Mike Woods.
And really the first time we've seen Arkansas push the ball downfield. That's what Nick Starkel can do. Throws a great ball there to Mike Woods. Get this drive started.
Pressure in the backfield. Wow. Chase Hayden finally gets a chance to carry the football, and Benito Jones says, hello, Mr. Hayden. I'd like to meet you. This is what got him deep.
Yeah, and it's not the best ball, but you know what? He lets Woods go up and compete for it. Gets the drive started. What I don't like about that last play, they've run that set almost every time exclusively and handed the ball off. Stacked slots wide. Ole Miss is catching on.
Tipped and incomplete. Trying to find C.J. O'Grady.
Grady wasn't ready for that one. Skipped off his shoulder pad before he even had his head turned. Two-down territory here for sure. Don't have to get it all. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to get something in that 5 to 10-yard range in space. See if they can pick up 12 yards or so.
Arkansas has a 10-game losing streak when trailing entering the fourth quarter. Down 3 touchdowns here with 5.5 to go. Starkel's sideline shot off the hand of O'Grady. And a finger wag from Armani Linton.
That's a good ball. Little hand fight there for Cheyenne O'Grady. Wasn't able to get the second one up. Similar to the play they ran where I thought there should have been pass interference at the other side of the field earlier in the game. Now they gotta have it here.
4th and 16. If Arkansas has a comeback in them, got to start now. Incomplete. No flag, and the Rebels turn it over on downs. Miles Hartsfield will strut off the field for the Land Shark defense. Let's take you back to the studio. What's going on Rocky Top? Dari.
Well, Tom, you mentioned it. BYU gets the better of Tennessee in overtime, and look at the incredible effort to win the game for the Cougars. Just this final push. Tennessee, as you said, 0-2 for the first time since 1988. Cougars win it by a field goal, guys.
It's Tennessee's 8th overtime loss, tied with Alabama for the second most since '96 when it began. Only Ole Miss has more, with 9 over that span. Ooh, what is Jeremy Pruitt going to do in Knoxville?
I mean, we knew it was a rebuild. They didn't have any talent on that roster last year, but Pruitt's done a great job in recruiting, especially on the offensive line, getting some big bodies in there. Added a few in the transfer portal. I thought they would be primed to take a step. Not a huge step this year, but a step in the right direction. And it looks like they've taken a big one backwards.
Cole, Tennessee's got Chattanooga next. Then they go to Florida and Georgia. How hot will the Heat get on Jeremy Pruitt?
You're going to hear a lot about it, and I think when you take a look at the next 2 games after that as well, Tom, I'm not confident they can find a way to win those. I mean, a 1-6, 1-7 start for Tennessee is very possible.
Whew. There were some teams that had terrible losses week 1. They were able to bounce back week 2. You can look towards Willie Taggart and Florida State. It was good that they were able to hold on in overtime today. Missouri opened with a loss up in Laramie. Bounced back in a big way today. And Ole Miss, they won a terrible loss, but their offense didn't show up last week in Memphis. And now they get to reclaim momentum. And if you're a coaching staff, you can say, hey, listen, we're still on target to reach a lot of our goals. That won't be the case for Tennessee. And the Heat's going to get turned up big time on that coaching staff.
Man, that's one place where it's real loud outside the stadium. Real loud on Twitter, real loud on social media. And Cole's right. If they start 1-4, 1-5.
Timeout. Arkansas.
Well, Cole mentioned it.
Timeout.
They got Chattanooga next week at noon on the SEC Network. Then at Florida, Georgia, home against Mississippi State, at Alabama, and home against South Carolina. And I don't know, I mean, if you're losing to Georgia State and you're losing to BYU, who's to say that you're guaranteed to win against UAB first Saturday in November?
No, you're not at all. But I will say this, I mean, I think Jeremy Pruitt's right for that job. Who else are you going to get? Who are you going to get right now? I get it. 0-2 looks really bad. But who else are you going to get right now?
Well, they're asking that question in Knoxville. Let's take you back to the studio and check in with Dari.
All right, guys, thank you much. Let's update. Just keep showing you LSU and Texas back and forth game. And Now it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire doing damage for LSU. Defenses are exhausted. 10 minutes to go, 9-point lead.
Well, that could be a monster win for LSU if they could hold on. Did you see how Matthew McConaughey entered the game day set today?
Oh.
The Minister of Culture.
Wow.
You know where Matthew McConaughey would be comfortable?
Anywhere?
Yes. I think he'd really enjoy a trip to the Grove.
Oh, yes, he would.
Break out the bongos, lose the shirt, just hang with your boys.
Tell you what, though, with how hot it was down there today, and what I've heard, McConaughey isn't a fan of deodorant. I mean, I'd still hang out with him, but, you know, it's not going to be pretty.
Might have to burn some sage. 3.5 to go in this one. Arkansas changed quarterbacks at the half. A&M transfer Nick Starkel is able to find the edge. You see Nick Starkel staying in a starting, since he started the second half, I would say staying in a starting role next week for Arkansas?
I think so. I mean, I think you've seen what this offense needs. It needs the vertical threat throwing the football. And yes, Starkel is a step behind, rightfully so, where Ben Hicks is in running this offense and getting these young players lined up and running with the tempo. But he is more talented. He's better pushing the ball to perimeter throws like that. He's better pushing it downfield. And you're going to major at Arkansas and running the football with Rakeem Boyd and threatening it, if at least throwing the football downfield. So I think Starkel's in here right now. I think this coaching staff wants to see him just operate the offense.
I'll open this question up to both of you. Now let's start with Jordan. Where have you seen Arkansas improve over the last year in 2 games?
I think it's, boy, on the defensive side of the ball, I will say, let me start on the defensive side of the ball. I think they have more talent. I think they have a better understanding of the scheme that John Chavis wants to have, and I think they've recruited the bodies that are going to fit his defense. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, they need more talent on the perimeter. They've recruited that, and they have some, but it's going to be, you know, towards the end of the year until we see if there's enough talent on the outside to complement what Rakeem Boyd is and the talent they have in the backfield.
They're able to convert this one to Traylon Burks. Cole, where have you seen, or have you seen improvement from Arkansas over the last year plus 2?
I agree about up front on defense. The loss of Dorian Gerald was big because I thought he had a really nice game against Portland State. And I do think the offensive line has actually played better the last 2 weeks than they did the majority of last season.
They went through 3 different quarterbacks last season. Connor Nolan is still at Arkansas, but he'll be a pitcher exclusively for the Arkansas baseball team. And again, the baseball coach, Dave Van Horn, they're really excited because they think Connor Nolan could be an elite pitcher, and stepping away for football will allow him to add velocity to what could be a big league fastball.
And that's obviously the most improved position. But what does that mean if you can't improve around the quarterback? I think that's where we're starting to understand, does the offensive line come together? Does the talent on the outside to come together? With the loss of Deion Stewart before this season, he was your best receiver. Now it's a lot of young talent out there. Offense has got to be balanced.
Other 2 quarterbacks last year transferred out. Ty Story now at Western Kentucky. Cole Kelly at Southeastern Louisiana. Completion over the middle. Still running with it is Trey Knox after taking a big lick. And slow to get up after a gain of 26. Arkansas is still fighting. And to me, I see that an area of improvement for Arkansas. This is a team, last year when Chad Morris came in, he was trying to placate some upperclassmen while getting experience for the freshmen. It didn't work out for anybody. And now this is a team that they're not going to come out of here with a win, but they're still battling late in this one. And a catch in the back corner of the end zone for a touchdown by Koylan Jackson.
And again, it doesn't mean a ton, that touchdown right there, that drive, but the comeback throw to the right sideline, the deep seam route right there to set up this fade route, those are throws that I'm not so sure Hicks has in his bag that Starkel definitely does.
Connor Lippert with the point after. Nick Starkel on that drive, 7 for 7 for 81 yards and a touchdown. Two grad transfer quarterbacks. College football has been taken over by grad transfer at quarterback this season. And the numbers today: Starkel exclusively in the second half, Hicks exclusively in the first half.
Now look, it's not an apples to apples. You know, Hicks had a lot more heat on him early in that game. Ole Miss was bringing it a little more in the first half. As they took control of this game in the second half, they haven't had to bring as much pressure. Hicks did some great things in the first half, extending plays with his feet. That's something I don't know if Starkel can do as well as Hicks. But right now, I think this coaching staff is looking for an opportunity to hand the keys to Starkel. I think he's starting to show that he can handle that.
Big article in the New York Times late this week about the transfers in college football. The NCAA study said in 2013 there were 58 grad transfers. In 2018, 116.
Wow.
Onside opportunity. And that one will kick out of bounds and belong to Ole Miss. And they are taking over all of college football. Kelly Bryant from Clemson to Mizzou. Joe Burrow with a lead late against Texas after being at Ohio State. Austin Kendall.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team.
And Tommy Stevens from Mississippi State, who was at Penn State. Of course, Jalen Hurts, the anchor and the poster boy, considering continuing an Oklahoma Lincoln Riley recent tradition.
These two guys right here, two grad transfers, one from Ohio State, one from Alabama, are going to have a huge impact on the college football playoff landscape. LSU right now leading Texas. Joe Burrow in this offense looks night and day different with Joe Brady coming from the Saints as the passing game coordinator, and Jalen Hurts. They haven't missed a beat at Oklahoma.
I got another Joe Burrow number for you. Against the blitz tonight versus Texas, he is 10 of 11 for 122 and a touchdown.
And that doesn't surprise me. When you watch film, as much as you can be critical, or I was critical of his play last year at times, he was always good against the blitz. I mean, he is a cerebral quarterback. He always has answers. What surprised me and what has shown the most growth is his pushing the ball downfield. How good he is, still is being tonight against Texas, throwing the ball vertical. That's something that he was hot and cold on last year. And seeing him this summer at the Manning Passing Academy, he was working on his lower body mechanics to add velocity to his deep balls and add accuracy and consistency. And I think we're seeing it showing already.
How about Matt Corral? He was dynamic tonight.
I mean, the kid can play. I think the more he starts to get confidence in himself, the more Rich Rod understands how to call a game for Matt Corral, what he can do best. This Ole Miss team is going to continue to get better.
Matt Corral picks up his first win as a starter here at Ole Miss. A 31-17 final. He threw for 246 and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry on 10 carries. Let's go down to the field. Cole standing by with head coach Matt Luke of Ole Miss.
Coach Luke, before your team put this game away, I saw you come to the bench. Individually, you challenged your offensive linemen. You said, do you have pride? If you do, show it to me. They went out and closed that game for you. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. This is a great job, our players and our staff, getting the ball off the mat. And it's great. Our crowd showed up tonight. Just so proud of our guys and our staff.
What does Matt do for your football team from an energy level that he brings to them?
He just, man, he's a competitor. He plays with that fire. I think people rally around that. He looked much more comfortable tonight, and he's only going to get better.
You lose one of your leaders on defense in the first series of the game. They're still able to bounce back and get big stops. I had to help your confidence tonight.
Well, I was so proud of our guys coming off the sideline, all say, hey, man, we got you. We got you. We're going to win this one for you. So really love the team effort right there.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Hotty toddy.
Momo Sunogo, known on Twitter as White Ranger. He said, I love the White Power Ranger. He was the coolest dude. Sunogo went out on the first drive. Meanwhile, Matt Corral was able to get things going and get this Ole Miss offense moving really for the first time this season.
And it was just about how Rich Rod started to design this offense to play to his strengths. Getting him outside the pocket, throwing on the run, and using his legs.
Well, Matt Corral may not